Stephen Hawking was a mind unbound. He was a titan of cosmology, a scientist whose name became synonymous with the biggest questions of the universe. When he spoke, the world listened, not just because of the computerized voice that became his signature, but because his thoughts were profound. He explored the deepest mysteries of space and time, all from the confines of a wheelchair. His intellect journeyed to the edge of black holes and back to the very first moments of creation. But this brilliant mind, this tireless explorer of the cosmos, also left us with a chilling warning. It was a warning born not from fear, but from a deep understanding of history and the laws of nature. While he believed that alien life likely exists somewhere out there among the billions of galaxies, he was deeply concerned about what would happen if we actually made contact. This wasn't a casual remark. It was a carefully considered conclusion from one of humanity's greatest thinkers. This warning came from a place of logic, not fantasy. What was the basis for Hawking's fear? It was rooted in a simple, powerful analogy drawn from our own history. When more advanced civilizations on Earth have encountered less technologically developed ones, the outcome has rarely been positive for the latter group. He urged us to look at the meeting between Columbus and the indigenous peoples of the Americas. One side arrived with ships, steel, and gunpowder. The other had a deep connection to their land but was technologically outmatched. The result was conquest, disease, and the near-total collapse of entire cultures. The newcomers, driven by their own needs and ambitions, saw resources to be exploited, not equals to be met. Hawking imagined a similar scenario playing out on a galactic scale. An alien civilization, capable of traversing the immense distances between stars, would likely be billions of years ahead of us. Their technology would be indistinguishable from magic to our eyes. Their motives would be completely unknown. Would they see us as a curiosity, as a threat? Or, in a more troubling thought, would they see our planet as nothing more than a convenient source of raw materials, a cosmic rest stop to be plundered and then abandoned? So what was Hawking's proposed solution? If shouting into the cosmic void is too risky, what should we do? His answer was elegant and cautious. We should listen. We should use our powerful radio telescopes, like the ones used by the Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence or SETI program to scan the skies for signals. We can be the silent observers of the galactic conversation. It's the difference between eavesdropping on a conversation from a safe distance versus bursting into a room full of strangers and announcing your presence. By listening, we could learn a great deal. We might detect the faint hum of a distant civilization's technology. We might intercept their communications, their art, their science. Listening gives us the strategic advantage of knowledge. It allows us to make a much more informed decision about whether and how we might one day choose to respond. This approach is known as passive SETI, and it stands in stark contrast to active SETI or MITI, which is messaging to extraterrestrial intelligence. Just as Hawking's warnings continue to echo, the universe seems to be sending us new puzzles to consider. In recent years, our skies have been visited by mysterious interstellar objects, travelers from other star systems. First came Oumuamua in 2017, an object so strange it defied easy classification. And now astronomers are tracking another one. Its name is 3I/Atlas, and like its predecessor, it is raising some fascinating and unsettling questions among top scientists, most notably from Harvard professor Avi Loeb. Avi Loeb is not a fringe thinker. He's a respected astrophysicist who chaired Harvard's astronomy department for nearly a decade, and he has been vocal in his belief that we must consider the possibility that these interstellar visitors are not just random rocks. Loeb's provocative thesis is that if a civilization is exploring the galaxy, it might do so with probes, small autonomous craft sent out to gather information. Could 3I/Atlas be one such probe, making a flyby of our solar system? Its closest approach to Earth is predicted to happen around October 2029. This gives us time to prepare, time to point our best telescopes at it, to study its composition, its speed, its behavior. There's a fascinating concept in psychology and decision-making called the intelligence trap. It's the idea that highly intelligent people are sometimes more likely to make catastrophic mistakes. Why? Well, because their intellectual confidence can blind them to their own flaws. They can build elaborate logical arguments that lead to a completely wrong conclusion, and they become so invested in their own cleverness that they fail to see the simple, obvious dangers. We, as a species, might be falling into this very trap. Just think about the proponents of active SETI. those scientists who want to broadcast our existence to the stars. They are brilliant people, physicists, astronomers, and engineers who have dedicated their lives to understanding the cosmos. Their arguments are often sophisticated. They might calculate the statistical probability of a hostile civilization being close enough to hear us and argue that the risk is negligible. But they're built on a mountain of assumptions about something we know absolutely nothing about: the nature of alien minds. We project our own values, our hopes for a peaceful, enlightened future, onto the unknown. A civilization could be incredibly advanced technologically and still be ruthlessly competitive and expansionist. To assume otherwise is a failure of imagination, a failure to consider that their evolutionary path, their history, and their psychology could be fundamentally different from our own. The question of whether to make contact with extraterrestrial intelligence has ignited one of the most profound debates within the scientific community. On one side, you have the optimists, the proponents of active SETI. They are driven by a powerful sense of curiosity and a belief in the potential benefits of joining a galactic community. They argue that contact could bring unimaginable rewards, solutions to disease, access to clean energy, answers to the deepest philosophical questions. They argue that any civilization capable of interstellar communication would have had to solve its own problems of conflict and self-destruction. Therefore, they conclude the aliens we encounter are more likely to be enlightened teachers than hostile invaders. On the other side of the debate are the cautionaries, the thinkers who follow in Stephen Hawking's footsteps. They are not necessarily pessimists, but they consider themselves realists. They look at the laws of evolution and the lessons of history and see a different picture. They argue that we simply cannot assume that alien life will be friendly. The universe is a place of competition for resources. This group believes that the risks are existential. If they are wrong and we remain silent, we lose a potential opportunity. But if the optimists are wrong and we make contact with a hostile power, we could lose everything. To truly grasp the weight of Hawking's warning, we don't need to look to the stars. We only need to look at a map of our own world and a history book. The story of humanity is a story of encounters, a series of meetings between different cultures. The Europeans arrived with seafaring ships, guns, and diseases to which the native populations had no immunity. The result was not a friendly exchange of ideas, it was a brutal conquest. Their societies were shattered, their lands were taken, and their populations were decimated by violence and sickness. The technological gap was so wide that there was no possibility of a partnership of equals. Now let's scale that up to a cosmic level. An alien civilization that can cross the interstellar void would possess technology that makes a Spanish galleon look like a child's toy boat. They might view our planet the way a construction company views a forest, a collection of resources standing in the way of a new development project. Our art, our music, our love, all of it might be utterly meaningless to them. History whispers a chilling lesson to us across the centuries. When worlds collide, the less powerful world is the one that breaks. We must consider the possibility that in a galactic encounter, we would be the fragile world. The debate over alien contact is no longer purely academic. With the discovery of interstellar objects like Oumuamua and 3I/Atlas, the abstract has become tangible. The approach of 3I/Atlas serves as a cosmic deadline. Will it be just another comet, a fleeting visitor of ice and rock, or will it be something more? The very possibility, however slim, changes the conversation. We are like characters in a suspense film, hearing a sound from a dark room and wondering whether we should open the door. This approaching enigma embodies the fears and hopes of the entire debate. It could be our first glimpse of another intelligence, a moment that unites humanity in awe and wonder. Or it could be the harbinger of a danger we are not prepared to face. We stand at a unique moment in the history of our species, a cosmic crossroads. In one direction lies the path of aggressive curiosity, the path of active SETI. In the other direction lies the path of cautious observation, the one advocated by Stephen Hawking. Are we, as a global civilization, ready for what comes next? Have we considered the consequences? Who gets to decide for all of humanity whether we press the send button? As we look up at the night sky, we are not just searching for others, we are searching for a deeper understanding of ourselves. The universe is waiting. It may be empty, or it may be full of wonders and dangers. The choice of which path to take may be the most important decision humanity will ever make. Are we ready to choose?